welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to something very special. Welcome back to the Katowice 2024 Asia Server Open Qualifier. I'm, of course, your host, Light VIP, and with me, I'm joined by myself. I was going to be joined by Yaku of the Zaku, but he'll be joining me tomorrow, as there have been some technical difficulties, and it's all good. He'll be joining me in the coming days, but we are here with our first of many matches as we determine who qualifies for Katowice. Now, of course, there are already invites. For the main event based on players' performances throughout the year, but this is another chance, a second chance, the last chance to qualify for IEM. And here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of side Delta, we have the Taiwanese Zerg player, the red Zerg, representing Team Onside. It is Rex. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the American Zerg player, the green Zerg, representing Team Gosu. It is Reaper. The Reaper versus the Rex. I'm here for it. Exclamation mark, be in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back of yourselves, because we have quite a stacked turnout here tonight. A lot of really good players. Now, for those that are curious, this is the Asia Server Qualifier, which means it is not region locked. You can play from wherever in the world, but you can be from wherever in the world, but you have to play on the Korean server. So that's why we have players like Reaper, we have Mana, Showtime. We do have a couple of Europeans that are being sprinkled throughout these players throughout the qualifying matches, and yeah, we're going to be working through them today. Today's the open qualifier, and the top 8 players will make it to the closed qualifier, which is going to be tomorrow. And tomorrow is where we determine who makes it in and who doesn't when it comes to Katowice. There is going to be a Asia server qualifier, there's going to be a Europe server qualifier, and an Americas server qualifier as well. So one for each region. And we will be there to cast and to bring you all of the qualifying players, as many as we can, here on the CranKy Ducklings. For now, we have our ZVZ. This is going to be a hatch first here from our lovely players. Hatch gas pool from both Reaper and Rex. Reaper, he is the cheesiest Zerg player in all of the Americas. I expect to see some aggression from him. I am surprised that so far everything is looking normal, everything is looking standard, when I'm sure soon we're going to be seeing anything but. As for now, we do have just our openers. Rex going to be working towards his third base on time, on location. Reaper should soon be doing the same. If he doesn't, Side Delta is not a bad map to go 2-base roach on, and 2-base play in general, so that could be on the horizon here from our green Zerg players. There it is. We are racing our way into a lair. Link speed has been skipped. We do not invest into it. No link speed here. Straight for the lair. We should be walling up, and we should be going 2-base roach, or at least appearing to go 2-base roach. This could lead into muta play, which would be a very risky decision. There's that roach warren that's thrown down, and we should be investing in this direction, as we do have some scouting links coming in. Lings, they do dip on 4, they do get eyes on the wall, and we're going to commit. We need to see whether or not we have a lair and how many gases we're going to be taking as well. Lair has been confirmed. Lack of link speed, another very important scout. And Rex is going to be forced out of the natural. Ooh. And we'll see how hard we commit here. There are some Zerg players that would fake out 2-base roach and go for link speed and go for a link flood, for example, but there is no link speed. We are taking additional gases, and we are investing into +1 range, and we should be soon thereafter going into into roach speed. There it is. Roach speed is on the way. So +1 and roach speed. It's going to be a very strong timing here from Reaper. Very strong roach timing, essentially, a roach all in, if you will, as Rex should be free to drone, saturating his bases, taking his gases. Rex did not cancel link speed, so he still has that available. There are some Zerg players that try to cut corners and cancel link speed if they do see that their opponent isn't investing in that upgrade. But we can see that Rex, he's being safe and sound, invests in that link speed in the end, and again is just focusing on droning, catching up in the worker count. Reaper going for his own third base here. This could just be for Lava. I'm really curious to see if Reaper does commit into an all-in, or if he just kind of pushes and pressures and drones up behind this instead, which is still an option. We can hit a later +2 timing if that is the case. For now, Queens are moving out. They're going to be shooing away at least one of these Overlords. Yeah, exactly. As an Overlord is going to go down here outside the bases. And here we go. Reaper still just amassing roaches. Oh, a little bit supply blocked after losing that overlord. Did have 3 more overlords on the way. Meanwhile, Rex back at home. Going to be going into a +1 carapace all-in. Here we go. A little bit old school. This was very popular at the start of the year, and it looks like Rex is going to be reliant on this. So he's going to be going for basically Ravagers and Mass Ling. +1 carapace will help when it comes to how, again, powerful, how tanky his roach is going to be when he runs into a wall of roaches of his own, of Reaper's own. Look at the units tab. Reaper, he is slightly ahead in army supply. He has the higher roach count. His opponent only has 1 Ravager. Uh-oh. Only 1 Ravager. Otherwise, we could ideally try to get a surround in this and try to bile down the army, but alas, Rex doesn't have that available. The roaches, they do bypass Rex. They head towards that 3rd base, almost get the queen. Meanwhile, the surround is going to be real. We catch these roaches out, and Reaper, he's going to have to commit. But there are just so many Lings. He gets the queen, but he's going to get completely cleaned up, and now Rex can send everything across the map. Lings, roaches, Ravagers are on the way, and Reaper is in a lot of trouble. He's going to try to hold on to his 3rd. I'm not sure if he can, though. Does pull back in the end. Walls off here at his natural base. +1 range is done. +1 range on the way for Rex. He does catch another roach. Roach does go down for free. So Lings, they do threaten that 3rd. Yeah, and they head towards that natural instead. They get a decent surround or a decent engagement here on this army. The Ravagers are a little bit late. We need the Biles. And the Biles up. Oh, they will be connecting. They deny some of those Ravagers. Do we have enough, though? Does Rex have enough? As the Lings are running out of steam. We're running out of Lings, and then soon we're going to be able to get on top of the roaches. Yeah, Rex, he has to back off. He has to wait for his reinforcements. Reaper barely holding on. Remember, both players have pretty similar economies. Rex reinforcing with Ling, still building up his Ravager count, looking to get another Overlord, and he will get it. Meanwhile, Reaper still heavily reliant on pure roaches. The goal here, Rex needs to try to lock down the army, then bile it. Bile down as many roaches as he can, and Rex can trade more efficiently in doing so. As he comes in first round once again. Oh, from behind. Reaper, he tries to slip away, and he does avoid this round for the most part. Roaches, they get on top of some of these Ravagers. 2 Ravagers going to be going down. Reaper trying to kite his heart out as well, getting away from those Lings and getting on top of the Ravagers. And it looks like Reaper, he's holding. He's not just holding, he's forcing this back, getting on top of the Ravagers, and Reaper, he can go for a counterattack. He wants them. He's going to get them. The Miles do not connect. We take down another Ravager. There's only 3 left. Reaper, we're so close. We have reinforcements on the way. Rex still amassing roaches. And Reaper will back up. Now, what's worrisome is that Rex is catching up in upgrades. We have +1 range on the way, so Rex will just be ahead in upgrades. He's just going to be strictly ahead in upgrades. We have speed on the way as well, so he's going to have a little bit more maneuverability with his roaches and Ravagers. But Reaper still just amassing roaches, sending everything across the map, walling off behind this, getting his queens in position. The Lings are going for a big counterattack, but the queens are ready. Looks like we catch a couple of roaches. Reaper, he's committing, trying to get on top of those Ravagers, and it looks like he will get on top of at least 1. Big pickup. Lyles will force back Reaper, and again, he doesn't want to get surrounded. He has to kite the hell out of this creep. Doesn't want to get caught out. So far, good movement out of Reaper, but he takes a lot of hits. Takes a lot of hits from those roaches. Again, roach speed has kicked in. For Rex. Rex and Reaper. God damn it. Reaper's going to back off. He's still amassing roaches. No +2, by the way. I'm a little bit shocked by that. I'm a little bit surprised that there isn't a +2. Boys are being pulled. Oh, no, wait. Okay, we're good. We're transferring over to the 3rd. The goal here, if Rex does scout, which he is about to, he's going to confirm the saturation at the 3rd. But Rex should... Oh, I was going to say he should keep going to check the natural base. This could be a trigger point. Either Rex decides to join himself, or he does... Yeah, he's droning... Oh, Rex, he is spending resources. He is spending larva on drones, thinking that he has to catch up economically. Whereas Reaper, he's all in. Completely all in. I wonder, does Rex realize he's now taking gases? Again, working on +2. Droning up a little bit further. Not by too much. He only made an extra 5 or so workers. Oh, as I say that, he's droning more. Uh-oh. He's droning more, Papi. This may just kill him. As I say that, this +2 range from Reaper is very late, and I feel like if we wait for this upgrade, it's gonna be far too late as well. It's gonna take far too long for this to really kick in, and I hope Reaper recognizes that. As Reaper is still just amassing his army. Meanwhile, his opponent still squeezing out some workers. Moving out with his Road Ravager. +2 has kicked in, so Rexy's up 2 upgrades. He's got 2-1 compared to the 1-0 of Reaper. He's trying to go in. Oh my god, they got a scout. Oh no. They got confirmation, the lack of economy. And here comes the Roach army here of Rex with that massive upgrade advantage. Rex even up in supply. We have the better concave from Reaper though. He has more roaches. He can try to take a better fight here as he's being forced forward. It looks like he's breaking through. He's at least breaking through on one side, but not on the other. Yeah, as it looks like Rex, he has too much. GG gets called, and Rex will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Oh my god. And that was pretty close, actually. That was pretty back and forth. We saw that Reaper was... Oh, sorry, that Rex was trying to... Again, kill his opponent, was trying to snowball out of control. Reaper would not allow him to... Reaper was holding strong, and yeah, in the end, it did lead into a bit of a longer game, though, where Reaper maybe had an opportunity at one point when he was getting on top of the Ravagers, but alas, could not keep the momentum going, and yeah, Rexy was able to stabilize, was able to get ahead, was able to take that first game, but we have at least one more ahead of us. At least uno más. Let's go. Oh, there's a lot of blue on this screen. There's a... A lot of blue. We're getting into this though. Getting into game number 2. Oh, I also have to fix my green screen. It's like a white. There we go. That's better. So we get into that second game, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Hardlead, we have the Taiwanese Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Team Onside. It is Rex. Leading the series 1-0. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the American Zerg player, the Green Zerg, representing Team Gosu. It is Reaper. Here we go. Again, plenty of English coverage going on at the moment. We have, I believe, Rotterdam, Wardy, and Steadfast all covering in English. Hopefully all covering their own individual series as well. As we determine who, again, qualifies for the closed qualifiers tomorrow. We were a little bit spoiled for choice. The other big one that I was looking at was Homeowner versus SOS. Very tempted, but overall I'm happy with where we have gotten ourselves. Happy with this EVZ. Always happy to feature both Rex and Reaper. Both good guys. Good guys. Supporters of the channel. Quack. For now, though, this was a 15-15. 15 hatchery into a 15 spawning pool, so very interesting opener here. Again, this usually leads into Roach play, just because the gases are going to be so late for Reaper. Gases already on the way here for Rex. So this is a tell that we're going to be seeing another Roach variation. This could be a Roach rush. We could go for a faster Roach Horn and try to go for a more committed timing. We have more aggressive options available for Reaper. This is also a way to like cut corners and be greedy earlier on as well. Just because your droning is going to be, again, hyper-fixated on minerals more than anything. Instead of splitting it between a gas. Likewise, we should be skipping links. We're going to be getting into queen production. There we go, 1 queen on each base. We're still just droning, no links whatsoever. We're going to be looking to wall off here on 2 bases. Now, I do like this a lot, especially on Hardlead. For those wondering, Hardlead, the rush distance by ground is quite short. Very short, actually. So this lends towards aggression and towards 2 base all-ins. So if Reaper did want to commit a little bit harder here, well, he has kind of a boosted economy to get into it. And again, the map itself is going to be favoring him if he does want to be assertive and aggressive. Now, Rex, I'm sure, is a little bit more aware of the kind of player that Reaper is. After game 1, they got a feel for each other, and Rex is aware that Reaper is the kind of player that's willing to be a little bit cheeky, to cut corners, to kind of fake out economy and fake out macro play and try to catch you off guard. We'll see how Rex adapts as, oh, he does throw down that Bailey Nest. is going to be on the way. Safety Baneling Nest, I should say. There's that third as well from Rex. Going to be safe against Ling Bane, but Reaper, he doesn't care about Ling Bane. He's now taking his gases, getting saturated at his natural, and the wall is upon us. Oh, as the Ling tries to get in, he is going to be denied. There's that Evo Chamber, there's the second, and we should be seeing a Roach Warren alongside this. There it is, there's that Roach Warren. Reaper just going to be fully walling off here on 2 bases, getting into a 2-base economy as quickly as possible. And this time, Rex won't really be able to get confirmation. The lair is on the way. That's going to be for Roach Speed once again. So again, a very similar build to the previous game, but this should hit a little bit faster. Things have arrived. Gases are being taken. We actually cancelled +1 range there for a moment. Meanwhile, Rex cancelling his own Baneling Nest, going into a much faster +1 range instead and going straight for the lair. We didn't cancel Link Speed, but again, we did at least cancel that Baneling Nest. So really good reaction so far to Rex, recognizing that he did not need the Baneling Nest if he's up against 2-base play. Ooh, and Reaper, he's going for a 1-1 timing. Quite a hefty push here, actually. We're going to have 1-1, and I believe Roach Speed alongside this once the lair does finish. So this is going to hit quite hard. Again, Rex responding quite well, actually. Droning up as much as he can. He shouldn't be making too many workers to saturate his third. Only a handful of them. Again, this is a mirror matchup. You don't want to spend too much of your larva on drones, otherwise you will just die. And it looks like he's going to be getting... Oh, a gas geyser here at his third base. Getting up to 6 workers. And from here should be cutting saturation. Rex droning it to 47, and now Roaches. Pure Roach on the way from our Zerg. Same can be said for Reaper. Reaper did drone up a little bit further here, up to 45. Slightly worse economy. But you can see him just amassing Roaches behind this. For a moment there, I was like, is he going to take a third? But no, we're just amassing Roaches for that 1-1 timing. Likewise, Rex is getting ready. He's spreading creep between spaces. Really interesting that Rex opted not to spread any tumors. His 3 queens have been just injecting non-stop. He's spreading creep with his overlords instead. We do have a third base on the way, but we are looking to waddle out. We'll see if we ever make any workers here. Do we go for a 2-2 timing instead, as the Roaches, they are moving out here. They're going to be spotted by these overlords. Rex is aware of the push. He's amassing his own army. Rex actually with a pretty hefty supply lead. Oh my god. Yeah, Reaper, he kind of faked out a push. He's backing off and he's droning. He's droning up behind this. We're looking towards a later game, and we mentioned it before. There it is, a 2-2 timing. So Reaper, he's going to be working on 2-2, droning up his third base and getting into a longer game. And it looks like Rex has identified this. He's also working on +2, and he's also droning. So both players are keeping up with each other. Reaper is going to be slightly ahead in upgrades, but he's still behind economically. He's long distance mining from this base, so even though we have similar worker counts, Reaper is behind. In the economy specifically. As Rex is moving out. Ravagers are on the way to shut down some of these overlords. You can see the overlords of Rex just getting out of the way, making sure we don't bile ourselves. Reaper just droning up to 52. Likewise, so is Rex. We're not really over-investing. Overlord did go down. And we're going to look to hunt down additional overlords. The Overseer is going to be on the way as well behind this. And both players are just chilling for now. Rex did drone up a little bit further, fully saturated his third. Another Overlord is going to fall. The contamination on the hatchery here. Going to be disrupting the larva production here of Reaper. Cute move. You love to see it. We often see contaminations on upgrades and less so on hatcheries. Looks a little bit weird. Some tentacle on tentacle action. as Reaper is going to be moving on out. But again, he is down in armor supply. Overall, Rex has done a great job at reading the situation, knowing when and when not to drone. Accurately, kind of reading his opponents. And as a result, like, he's maxed out. He is maxed. He's going to be down in upgrades. 2-2 is about to kick in here for Reaper. 2-2 is on the way. Ravager pushing on forward. Biles, going to be connecting here for Reaper. Does connect on the army of Rex. Not too bad. Forcing this back. The Biles. Oh my god. They will connect as well. And Reaper taking the Biles to the face. He's going to try to break his way through. Slowly getting some of those Ravagers. But alas, we have the defender's advantage for Rex. He has reinforcements on the way. Able to keep up with the +2 range upgrades. And it looks like, yeah, he will just focus this down. Will force Reaper back. Again, he had the better economy. He had the defender's advantage. He had the better concave. Despite the upgrades, it's not going to be good enough. Again, the carapace upgrades just aren't really too important in Roach versus Roach. Not too impactful. Despite that, Rex is catching up. And Reaper's in a really difficult position. Now he's droning. Now he's taking his gases. He was pretty committed. Again, just lacking the saturation here at this third is going to be killing him. Meanwhile, Rex is taking a fourth. Fourth base is on the way. We could even try to throw down infestation pits to get into a hive, to get into 3-3. For now, though, Roach v Roach is all that Rex has to worry about. He can worry about taking after he maxes out. Now Reaper is in a rough position. So just trying to remax his army. Rex, though, he's not going to give him the time. Rex, he's maxed at 196 supply. Focusing on clearing up some of this creep. Just keeping Reaper in the dark. I mean, Rex, he has map control. He can afford to do this. We can be active without being punished. See Rex once again just taking care here with his movements. We have that Hydrogen on the way. Pushing into the concave, though, we gotta be careful. Reaper is able to keep up in the overall supply. This still could go either way. Rex has the bank, though. There we go. Biles gonna be forcing back the army. Likewise, not quite connecting here in favor of Reaper. Diving on this, actually. Oh my god. Trying to force the issue. So far, does force Rex back. At the same time, we have a couple of roaches being peeled off to go for a counterattack. Reaper's able to keep up, but he's pulled out of position. The Queen! Queen is going to go down. We do send in some roaches straight into the natural. And it's going to be a numbers game at this point. The main army going to be threatening the forces of Reaper. We have roaches coming in from the left, coming in from the natural. Drones are going to be going down. Queens as well. And Reaper, he is being pulled apart. Oh! While some of them will connect. Looks like Reaper is able to maintain control of his bases. He only loses 3 workers. He lost a couple of queens, but he's able to keep his injecting queens at least. Does keep them alive. Ooh, that could have been so much worse. But throughout all of this, because of the better economy, Rex, he's working on the lurker den. From hydras into lurkers into, soon I imagine, a hive. And from here, Rex is going to be looking to take up in towards lurkers. Reaper still stuck on Roach Ravager. To be fair, like, he can still take a better fight, or still try to sway things in his favor here. Oh, as long as he doesn't take Biles to the face, we should be okay. These Biles are going to be forcing Rex back. At the same time, another Roach counterattack, focusing down some of these drones. Worker's going to be falling. It's going to be, it looks like 2 workers in total, almost a third. 4th base has been swatted. Reaper down to 48 drones. Oh my god, the worker count is so low here for both players. It's all about the Roach Ravager. Same time, Rex going for another counterattack. And every time he has the freedom to be able to pull this off. Breaking into the natural. And Reaper is still just forced to engage. There's no turning around. Not from this, but there's a lurker. Oh my god. There's a lurker behind this. It will be filed down. Oh my god, the control. We do kite back. We do kite back in time. Show us the biles on the Overseer as Reaper, he is breaking through. Yeah, 22 roaches are still on the way. Reaper getting on top of the army. We went into Hydras. Hydras are not ideal, not in this position. We don't need them. And GG is going to be called. Reaper able to barely break through. And does have the series 1-1. GG. Rex, he's going for all these counterattacks, going for all these run-bys, getting economic damage done. But something that I didn't mention, but is known in amongst Zerg players, is when you are transitioning into lurkers, that is when you are at your most vulnerable, because you're spending resources, you're spending some of your your resources, your bank, your supply on Hydras, on even lurkers, not on Roach Ravager, and that is when your opponent can strike. That is when your opponent will have a Roach Ravager advantage. And yeah, Reaper, he barely broke through. His opponent was in the midst of squeezing out some Hydras, which is not what you want in that situation. And just like that, we have an ace match. And we could even see Reaper take it. I mean, Reaper is coming in as the underdog. He's more of an NA ladder hero. I'm sure even he would say that as well. But yeah, really impressive that we're going to game 3. That question becomes, 2 base Roach. Do we see it again? We've seen it every game so far. We'll see if we get it here in game 3. Let's go. I'm ready for it. I am ready for it. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner here of Oceanborn, we have the Taiwanese Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing on side. It is Rex. And spawning in the top left, going for a 12 pool. He has not made a drone. There it is. 12 pool is on the way. We have the American Zerg player representing Team Gosu. It is Reaper. The cheesiest Zerg player in the Americas. This is what I've been waiting for. We have our 12 pool on the way. The other thing I should quickly mention, because I was talking about the lower drone counts, and last game it wasn't just that Rex was transitioning into lurkers. There was actually like 3 different things that came into play there. 1, Rex was transitioning into lurkers. Of course, he was vulnerable. 2, Reaper had a lower worker count, which meant he had more Roach Ravager to actually break through. So he just had a higher Roach Ravager supply overall. And on top of that, as we're going for a proxy hatch, oh god. On top of that, Rex was also going for counterattacks, so he was spending supply elsewhere, not at home defensively. So like there are these like 3 little things that slowly did add up, and yeah, Reaper, he was able to break through, was able to catch Rex with his pants down. And now we have a proxy hatch. Let's go. I mean, I say that. This should be for a spine crawler, right? Where you can go for the hatchery, then cancel it, then throw down the spine. No, actually we can just go straight for the spine crawler in the main. There you go. As the boys are being pulled, the boys, we're all in. It's all or nothing here as Reaper, he is just sending the boys out. Has resources for those spine crawlers, and they have been revealed to the Overlord. Rex knows. Rex immediately, he starts up his own spine crawler in his main. He's aware of what's going on. Reaper flooding lings across the map. Spine crawler on the way. Reaper killing the natural is not going to be good enough. We have to go straight for the main. And again, he does have some money for spine crawlers, but they're going to be so late if he throws them down. We just have to commit. We just have to commit here. Zoning back the army, trying to get on top of the spine crawler as well, but Rexy gets us around. The queen has arrived and ready. Rex cleans this up. He will shut this down, and GG gets called. Rex will take the series at 2-1. GG. Not the end that I wanted, but it's all good. GG, well played, as Rex will shut him down. Again, a really good effort though by Reaper. Really impressive stuff. Rex happened to be going for his own pool first, actually. So because Rex went for a pool first, it meant a delayed hatchery. It meant that he had a faster spawning pool as well, so he was able to shut that down without too much issue. Really well done. Really solid performance there. Reading his opponent like a book, going for a pool first in that situation. Yeah, solid. Solid play there from Rex, and with that, he advances on into the next round. And does he have an opponent waiting for him? He does. I gotta slip in. Okay, one moment. Okay, beautiful. As we quickly switch our scenes over and have a look at the bracket here. Again, congratulations to Rex as he advances onto a qualifying match. You heard me right. Qualifying matches are already upon us, and it is single elimination. It is brutal. From the very top, we have a lot of players currently ongoing, and qualifying matches are about to begin. SOS did 2-0 Honmono, waiting for the winner of Showtime versus Spanmeister as they face off over the European server. It's going to be, I imagine, a PvP qualifying match. Scrolling down a little bit further, we have Ryung 2-0ing Astra, almost said Estrella, and Ryung is up against Mana in a best-of-5 qualifying match as well. Scrolling down a little bit further, we have Cyan 2-0ing Koka up against TY in the next round for that best-of-5 in a TVP. We have Stats up against Lemon. Winner goes up against Nightmare in a qualifying match. We have Coffee up against Sue in a TVZ. Very spicy qualifying match as well. Very tempted to have gone for that series, but I'm happy with what I have. As we scroll down a little bit further, we have Jeshi 2-0ing Rebellion. Impressive. Very impressive stuff there by Jeshi. Up against DRG in a ZVP. We have Shin waiting for either Universe or Nice, and we have our own series. It is going to be Rex versus Firefly in a best-of-5. Let's go. I can't believe my eyes. It's going to be Fireflies. Firefly is going to be up next here on the CranKy Ducklings. I am ready for it. Firefly has been a star player for quite some time. We've had our eyes on Firefly for almost the entire year, and he has been a fan favorite for good reason. He's been doing so damn well for himself, has been improving so much, getting some really good results, and I love Rex, but I have a hard time not cheering for Firefly. It's going to be close, though. It is going to be close. And as we get ready for our qualifying match, a big shout out to Ice Scar in the chat. Fala galera, papi, fala galera. Thank you so much for subscribing. 20 months. Oh my god. 20 months in a row. Thank you so much for the support. We appreciate it. We do appreciate it. See Aztecs in the chat. Danielo. Or Danielazo. Bienvenidos. As we are getting ready for a best-of-5. Let's go. Just making sure I can message some of these players and yeah, make sure we don't get left behind. But yeah, for those that are curious, the round of 16, these are the qualifying matches. Once you make it into the quarterfinals, then you have made it. Then you have made it into the closed qualifier. It's a qualifier for a qualifier, if that makes any sense. And tomorrow is when we determine who makes it into IEM. Basically, in the closed qualifier, we have a bunch of invited players. We can go over them later on, but there are quite an array of players that have been invited into the closed qualifier based on their performances this year. Players like Dark, Byun. I can quickly skim over some of them at least. Dark, Byun, Classic, Hero, Cure, Gumiho, to name a few. They're waiting in tomorrow's qualifier. Here we're determining who faces off against them. Who will face off? I also didn't want to gloss over it, but yeah, Shin, he 2-0'd Volts as well. Big shout out to Volts. I'm happily surprised to see a couple of NA players show up, like Reaper and Volts. I know it's a really bad time in North America at the moment, so yeah, really surprised to see that. Really cool to see. Again, some really high-profile matches going on at the moment. I do think that some of the better matches are here. Like, I think Coffee versus Sue is up in the air. Jeshi versus DRG, that could go either way. I know Jeshi, just like Firefly, has also been having an amazing year, has been improving so much as a player. And the potential Shin versus Nice, that's going to be juicy. Is going to be a juicy series. But we know what we want. We know what we want. We know what we're here for. And that's Rex versus Firefly. For now, I guess we're going to be going on a short break. We have a little bit of time to ourselves here. The players are currently conducting the vetoes, so yeah, going to be going on a short break, and we'll be back with our qualifying match. Depending on how fast or how slow this is, we will try to catch another qualifying match afterwards. We'll do our best to try to catch one more series, but it's going to be a bit of a shorter broadcast today, just because yeah, we're almost at the end of the qualifier. Almost at the end. So at most, we'll maybe be able to jump in mid-series into another qualifying match after this one. So look forward to it. Until then, we'll see you guys after the break. Take this moment to hydrate Hydra, stretch roaches, massage your marines, drain your disruptors, and we'll see you guys soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. We are getting into our first qualifying match of the night, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Hard Lead, we have the Chinese Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Firefly. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Taiwanese Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Onside. It is Rex. And as we get ready for this series, predictions in the chat, I will open them up. One moment, please. Qualifying match. Here we go. So if you're in the chat, you have a couple of minutes to place your bets on who you think is going to be making it out and who you think is going to be qualifying here, as predictions are open for the next couple of minutes. Let's get into this. And so far, Rex has been forced to take the unnatural natural. Likewise, Firefly back at home going for a gate expand into the Cyber Core. Looking like standard openers so far. Firefly typically does thrive in the mid game, and I'm ready to see what Firefly brings to the table. Meanwhile, Rex, I'm curious because I haven't casted him in a while. Rex used to be more of a regular on this channel, but in recent times, Rex... What was I? Depressed? In recent times, in recent months, Rex did kind of take a bit of a step back. He retired, or it looked like he was going to retire, but he took a break for a couple of months. He ended up leaving Onside. He recently rejoined Onside as more of a content creator. He has been casting a lot more on his channel, which has been really cool to see. He's been enjoying the content creation side of things, but I mean, he's still in the qualifier, you know, he's still competing, he's still a damn good player. And I want to see how his style has evolved and changed over the past couple of months, and yeah, to see how he compares to a player like Firefly, who in the past I would have said is pretty similar in skill, but just because of the lull that Rex has had in his career, just because he took a bit of a step back, I'm not too sure if that's still the case. We'll see. So overall, I still want to give Firefly the edge. As for now, the probe is getting the hell out of there. It is going to be a Stargate opener out of Firefly. As to be expected, again, Firefly, I imagine it's after this Stargate open. That's where we have to keep our eye on Firefly. Does he go for Glaive Adepts? Does he go for an 8-gate +1 Blink all in? Does he go for a mass amount of Charge Dots instead and go for an Archon timing? There's a lot that Firefly can bring to the table. Can and does. Now, we're just kind of waiting for that tech to kick in. It's going to be droning, saturating our bases. Adepts are going to be moving out to try to harass across the map. At the same time, Lings are moving in. Ooh, but we do wall off in time. Quick moves here out of Firefly. Throws down the gateway. Another Adept is on the way. Oracle in production. And the first two will get across the map. We'll be threatening that mineral line. Won't be getting any kills yet, but we do commit to the shade. We're going to be threatening a dive into the main. We do at least confirm the hatchery in production. Meanwhile, across the map, Firefly has been able to hold. He canceled the gateway, is safe and sound, and will be expanding. We'll be going for that expansion. Lings, meanwhile, they found the Adepts. It's going to be a brutal trade if they try to engage here in the mineral line. Instead, going to be looking to chase these shades. Oracle has arrived. 2 queens are in position at the third. We have a spore in the way in the main. The natural's a little bit exposed, but there's nothing to really kill here, so it's all good. Ooh, as Firefly even baited into activating that pulsar beam. Ay, ay, ay. So nice moves out of Rex, faking out his opponents. Meanwhile, we're committing into a second Oracle and a third. Second Oracle has arrived. We're diving in towards that third. We just focus down the drones. The Spore isn't done. Spore just barely not done in time. 4 workers go down. Pretty good pickups here from Firefly. Behind this, we do have the Forge and the Twilight Council on the way. This should be +1 and Blink. We could try to go for Charge instead. That is also a possibility. Blink is a little bit more common. So I did assume that was the direction here. For Fireflies, he's hidden the field with the rest of those Adepts. So far, he hasn't lost anything this game. And now we're pushing in. So far, Tumors are being knocked down. Adepts threatening a shade towards the bases. We do commit, actually. Lings are hit us around, but the Oracles, they come in to support. They focus down the Lings, and from here, we could even try to focus down some drones. Speaking of, 2 workers go down. We shade into the natural. Queens are in position. Can we focus down some workers? Oh, we get 1. Only 1, though, and this was a pretty big commitment. That was 5 Adepts going down for 3 drones. Not really worth it. I mean, did trade with Lings, and with that, because there are so few Lings left over, Rex doesn't really have enough to counterattack. So Firefly is safe and sound. He still has plenty of Oracles. All 3 of them are still alive. And we have confirmation it is +1 and Charge. And that is a gateway explosion. We're going up to 8 gateways in total. This is looking like the Archon timing that we mentioned before. Temple Archives is on the way. Soon to be Archons. Lings, they do get in. Oh no. Barely not able to deny this. Barely not in position. And they scout everything. They get eyes on the follow-up tech. Temple Archives have been spotted as well. So really big scout here for Rex. And he is going for a Roach Warren behind this. Roaches on the way. That is what he needs. Now, what's interesting about what Firefly is doing is he hasn't gone for a Robo. I was assuming that we would go for like a Prism across the map. We'd warp in these High Templar and then we'd hit with Charge Lots, but this is going to be a little bit different. We're amassing the army back at home instead, and yeah, it looks like Firefly may just be going for a bit of a longer game. It's going to take him a little bit longer to amass this army, and yep, there we go. 4th is on the way. We have confirmation. We are getting that 4th up and running. It's going to take a little bit longer for this army to really amass. And that is going to give Rex the opportunity to drone up. Now, he has droned up to 67. This is 3-base saturation, essentially. This is what looks to be a 3-base all-in out of Rex. He does have a 4th, but he hasn't droned. Not yet. Not feeling really safe to. And I don't blame him. Still just focusing on Roach Ravager. Now is not the time to push in for Firefly. Mentioned before, Rex did cut workers. Pushing into this army would not be wise here for the Protoss. Behind this, there's the Robo on the way. So again, because Firefly is taking a 4th, really what he's doing here is just poking the edges of the creep. Trying to focus on whatever tumors he can. Just posturing, vying for map control. He doesn't really want to commit. He can't commit. No, with this small army. Thankfully, roach speed isn't done, so Rex can't really chase this down. Zealots make their way in, but they do get cleaned up. Firefly, he's just going to be settling on here in the center of the map. Rex is taking up even further towards a Hydra Den. This should be for a Lurker Den, a Hive. There it is. Hive is on the way. So Rex is working towards Hydra, Lurker, Viper. The problem with this is that I believe Firefly should hit first. I feel like this tech, it feels a little bit delayed. As Rex is just now joining up and saturating his 4th base. Firefly massing his army. And again, Firefly should be able to move out before Lurkers are ready, but we'll see. We'll see if he's able to hit that timing. Hit that +2 timing even. Stalkers are amassing. You can see Rex still just posturing with his army. And Firefly should be moving out with this. He's going to be cutting workers here at 75. Working towards that War Prism. Zealot's going to try to distract his opponent. We do catch a couple of fresh tumors, or active tumors. Not too bad. Rex getting ready for his own counterattack. There's that Lurker Den on the way. And Rex is catching these Zealots at least, which is nice. Roach Army hasn't spotted. We do focus on the Ravager, at least we try to. Okay, Ravager's going to be going down. And here we go. This is what we've been waiting for. Still only going to be harassing with Archons, though. I assume that we would move out with everything, but no, it's just Archon harass. Never mind. Which means the Lurker Den finishes, and Lurkers are going to be on the way. The Archons, they are getting work done, to be fair. A surprising amount, actually. Hydras have arrived. Oh, Prism's going to be focused down, and it will fall. Oof. We want the drones! No! They're bunching up! Oh my god, 12 workers, 13! 13 drones go down, and here come the Lunkers. And I do think that Firefly just waited a little bit too long. I do think there was potential with his army to at least posture and deny the center base, or even the base on the left-hand side. But now we're getting away with the Lurkers. Storm just now starts here for Firefly. We have no splash damage, no disruptors, no, again, Robotics Bay, no second robo. We're getting into Sky Toss. Uh-oh. Rex, he's looking good. He's looking strong. He's moving out. Now, that is a lot of Stalkers. Don't get me wrong. That's and we do focus on one of those Lurkers. There's potential with Firefly's army. Picks off another Lurker and another. Oh my god. Rex bleeding out quite a bit. And we get a full surround. We're trying to at least. Going for that surround, engaging with the army. So far, really good trades out of Firefly. Surprisingly good. Trying to catch out these Lurkers. Again, working on that transition to Skytools. It's going to take a while for him to really get into those carriers. But yeah, this is really interesting to me. Like, Firefly is just taking more defensive position. He has his 4 bases up and running. Some workers are going to be going down. Firefly going to be able to shut down at least these roaches here on the left-hand side. Once again, he gets another 2. Oh my god, another 2, another 3 Lurkers. Good target firing here out of Firefly. And Rex, I do think he's been a little bit too careless with his army. 7 Lurkers have gone down. He has not been trading well. And Firefly is getting away with this. Carrier production underway. Mothership as well. Firefly not looking too bad. I was concerned that he had allowed his opponent to get into Hydra, Lurker, Viper, but the Vipers were a little bit too late. Again, the movement with the Lurkers was a little bit too ambitious as well and was lacking. And even now, I'm not really in love with the army of Rex. Like, he has Vipers, which is good, but we have too many Roaches, I feel. Where are the Lings? I mean, ideally, you want to trade out the Roaches for Lings, just because Roaches are inflated supply. They hurt you more than help you as the game goes on. So we're investing into more Hydras. Rex will try and push on forward. Storm has been revealed. Oof. Another big Storm on 2 of those Lurkers. You get a couple of Yoinks coming in here. 1 Immortal's going to go down. Ooh, a High Templar as well. And an Archon. But the carriers, they have been revealed. Detection is coming in. Oh my god, we do have the slow zone on the Lurkers. Big Yoink. Minus 300, but we are breaking on through. Oh my god, bit of an overextension there out of Firefly, pushing into so many Lurkers. Looks like Firefly did lose his did lose one of his observers. He has the other though. Gets the revelation. This is still very tense. Do we have any storms? We do not. Once again, we are going to be trying to break on through. Big feedbacks here on the Vipers. No abductions, no parasitic bombs, or blinding clouds. The Vipers are shut down. The carrier count isn't really at critical mass, so the Hydras are actually not doing too badly focusing down the interceptors. Can we break through? Oh, it's so close. The overcharge keeping these carriers alive. And it looks like we barely cannot. 1 carrier goes down. And the Hydras, they have gotten on top of this Nexus. Behind this, Lurkers are going to be transferred over. Lurkers, they're breaking through. Rex is barely making this work. We need a little bit more time to gather up more interceptors. Firefly does force this back, but he is still lacking a bank. He needs this base up and running. Humor's going to be falling. Something that we really lacked in that previous fight and that we still lack is High Templar and Storm. You know, we need Storms, and there we go. A massive warping of High Templar. We need them to help deal with all these Hydras. Carriers on their own are not enough. Not in these low numbers. A bit of Lurker harass. Punishing that gas geyser. Corruptors are on the way. Spire is done. We don't have the best Corruptor upgrades, unfortunately. We're just working on +1 air flyer carapace. Meanwhile, we have another Lurker harassing here on the left. Hydra's pushing in. Ooh. Big Storm, though. We do bait out 2. Not too bad here for Rex. As he slowly sieges forward, moving forward with those Spine Crawlers as well. Lurkers getting in position. You have 1 Storm. The carrier's breaking through, actually. Oh my god. Have to be careful. Don't want to bleed out too many interceptors. Yeah, big feedback on one of those Vipers. There's have 3 left. And we're going for it. We're going for the dive. Big power bomb here on the carriers. For interceptors, though, they do fan out. Powerbomb not going to be good enough. The Hydras are falling, but the Corruptors, they break through. We get 1. We get 1 carrier. We're barely going to get us. Oh, we don't even get the second. No shot. The carriers, they refuse to die. The overcharge is too much, and Firefly holds. He cleans up the Corruptors. Gets on top of the Lurkers as well. And it looks like Firefly may have just done it. You can see how low these carriers are. Rexy got so close. So close there to cleaning them all up. But Firefly, he breaks through. Cleans up the Corruptors. Cleans up all the Lurkers. There are only a couple of Hydras remaining, and Hydras, they're not good enough. Yeah, and GG is going to get called. Firefly will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Firefly will barely take a lead in this series, but that was a pretty tense game there. It was really weird. Like, it felt like both players were kind of missing opportunities in a way. Like, Rex was able to somehow get away with going into somehow get away with going into lurkers, but he wasn't able to really make use of them. He bled out 7 lurkers before he was able to really get a stable army, just because he had so many roaches and so much dead supply, and he was pushing without vipers as well. So Firefly was able to trade, decently well against him. Eventually getting into his own sky toss and carriers, and yeah, things were getting quite rowdy, quite messy. Oh. So we're now getting into game number 2. Número 2. Looking to see if we can tie the series up or extend the lead for Firefly. As a reminder, it's a best of 5. Best of 5, plenty of games are ahead of us. Plenty of games to come. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the Chinese Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Firefly. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Taiwanese Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing on side. It is Rex. He may be down in the series, but we have plenty of games ahead of us. Plenty of opportunities to come back, to bounce back in this qualifier. I want to believe. I do want to believe. Firefly is going for his gate expand once again. Likewise, Rex not going for an early gas or early pool. Hatch first. This time, where it should be as well. No force to take any kind of awkward base. So Rex is going to have a much more stable early game leading into this. As yeah, it's going to be a hatch gas pool here out of Rex. Very standard opener here, nothing too fancy. And likewise, there's that gate expander from Firefly, everything looking as it should. Now, talking a little bit about the map Oceanborn, outside of the fact that, we're under the sea, we're underwater, true. But outside of that, the Russian system background is quite short, so you can be quite assertive and aggressive early on. It can be quite difficult to actually establish a 4th base, but your 3-base setup can be quite heavily fortified. There are ramps and choke points coming into this. It can be difficult to break a 3-basing player. We have seen many Zerg players try to cap out at around 66 workers, 3-base saturation, and try to go for an all-in and fail on this map. So, yeah, we'll see. We shall see what comes next. For now, there's a Stargate opener here from Firefly. Just like the previous game, Stargate should be going to Oracle, should be going towards a 3rd base. This should be a standard opener out of Firefly. Now, what's important is that from this Stargate opener, we can go in a couple of different directions. Last game, we went into Charge, which wasn't really too impactful, if you remember. The Zealots didn't really do much damage. Rex was able to get into Roaches just in time. Have that Oracle production underway. So again, last game we had Charge. We could be going into +1 Blink, could be going into Glaive Adepts. That's another big possibility here for Firefly. It could even rush into Sky Toss, which I'm not too sure if Firefly is really one to do. I do feel like it's really risky to try to pull off on Oceanborn. I think it's much stronger in some of these larger maps like Alkione or Radisson Station, or even Side Delta, once we do get there. But now, though, Oracle's going to be zooming out. Getting across the map, threading the main base, but we have a Spore already in position. We have 2 Queens. The natural base, likewise, 2 Queens, and the Spore is on the way. Rex is looking pretty heavily fortified. Looking solid. is going to be looking solid here. As the Oracles, they do rotate back in towards that third base. It looks like we go for the dive. 3 drones go down. A lot of hull damage to one of those Oracles, but the other can stand strong, and we get another couple of drones. 5 in total. Not too bad. The Oracles, they're battered, they're bruised, but they're still alive. That is all that matters. And there is a transition. Twilight Council and a Forge once again. Just like the last game. As I said in the previous game as well, this should be for +1 and Blink, but last game we went into Charge, so yeah, there are possibilities available here for Firefly. We have options. Meanwhile, we're getting to a bit of a faster lair, or we're prioritizing the lair instead. We should be going for a Roach Horn, and there it is. Roach Horn is on the way. The way this works is the Roach Horn is lined up with the completion of the lair, so we can go straight into Roach Speed. Straight into that upgrade. As Rex is taking his gases and getting into 3-base saturation. Meanwhile, behind this, we do have +1 and Blink on the way for Firefly. It is going to be a much more standard transition. 3rd base up and running. Ooh, as the Oracles, they find a Queen! They will bring it down. The Spore going ham, though. It looks like one Oracle may go down. Oof. Getting a little bit too greedy there. What? Oh my god. Whew. One Oracle does fall. We even catch a Stalker. But we get 8 drones. Crippling the economy here. Really slowing Rex down. That is pneumatized Carapace. And we see why. You don't get Overlord speed without good reason. And the reason is Dropper Lords. We're going all in. I think this is a wise choice, especially after what just happened. Rex just lost a bunch of workers. He's all in. Looking at the assaults, 13, basically a mineral line. Just under a mineral line worth of drones have gone down. It's too much damage. Far too much damage. We got to double down. We're going to go all in. Dark is a player that's really good at this. Whenever Dark does lose too many workers in this matchup, he just stops making drones. Just goes straight for Roach production instead. Sends it across the map. It's all or nothing. And here we go. Queens have been loaded in. Roaches, Lings, Ravagers, all being sent out. Again, one way or another, the game will end. Firefly investing into a 4th. Uh-oh. Looking at the army, what do we have to defend? We have 7 Stalkers. That is all we have. Rex has almost triple the army supply of his opponent. And we're pushing in. We're spreading creep. We can transfuse. Overcharge is popped. Ooh, a bit prematurely. The overcharge is going to help a little bit, I guess. We are focusing on a couple of these Ravagers. There we go. Blink is done, but the overcharge runs out. It has run out. Files are being thrown down. Shield batteries are being denied. And the boys, they're going to have to be pulled. Now, we can afford to lose workers. Again, we're ahead in the economy. We were ahead in the economy. Oh, as Files connect. Firefly, we need some warpins, we need more gateways. Links are busting into the mineral lines. Probes are going down left and right in the main base, in the natural. And Firefly, he's snowballing out of control. It looks like he has done it. He has broken through, and we have a series. Firefly just being too greedy, invested into this Nexus, but it's not going to be helping at all. And the Lings, they're not done. We killed every worker in the main, the natural. We have 10 probes left. We barely have an economy. We do focus down the Dropper Lord, which is nice. But Firefly has nothing left. GG gets called, and Rex ties up the series 1-1. GG. GG, well played. Again, Firefly, he kind of made his bed and he had to sleep in it there. As he crippled the economy, forced the hand out of Rex. And wasn't able to deal with it, wasn't able to survive. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to scout, he wasn't able to see it coming, is maybe the better way to put it. Despite his oracles, because he lost one, because he had just harassed, he didn't see the army coming across the map, so he just was not ready for it. He was unprepared, he was caught with his pants down. And with that, we're going to be getting into game number 3. Now, as a reminder, it's still a best of 5, so this is to determine who gains momentum in this series, not to determine who wins the series. Still go either way. Oh, meanwhile, we're getting some updates here. DRG Dongray Gu just 3-0 Jeshi. Very impressive result there. Again, the 3-0 DRG, one of the first to qualify for the IM Katowice closed qualifier for the Asia region. One of the first. Do we have any... Do we have a first? Has anyone already qualified? I'm curious. No, he's the first. There you go. Is the first person in. It must have been a quick best of 5. Here again, we have an actual series here. We have a back and forth, which is all I ever wanted. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Hecate, we have the red Protoss player representing the Platinum Heroes, the ex-player of the Platinum Heroes, the ex-starving camel. Not starving anymore. It is Firefly. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Taiwanese Zerg player. The blue Zerg representing on side, it is Rex. Here we go. Just being a little bit more assertive in that last game after taking damage, to be fair, and it's going to be a little bit difficult to pull that off here on Hecate. Something that I did mention previously is the short rush distance on Oceanborn, so it can lead into, you know, really aggressive counterattacks and very little time to react. That is less so the case here on Hecate. The rush distance by ground is a little bit longer. We have a bit of a more winding path as well, so you have more time to react. Meanwhile, Rex going for a hatch gas pool. Once again, the natural base has been taken. Openers are looking standard. I'm curious, really, Rex, he isn't really one to go for a gas first. He isn't one to rush into roaches too early in this matchup. I don't expect that to change, but we'll keep an eye on him nonetheless. I mentioned before that it's been a while since I've casted Rex regularly, so I'm still kind of being reintroduced to what he prefers in his playstyle. In game 1, he was kind of willing to embrace the late game, kind of. I say kind of because he... yeah, it still was a bit of a disjointed kind of way and road into Hydroburger Viper. I do still feel like he thrives in the mid game more than anything. I see the chat. I felt a kinship between that game and my latter games. Run in, do way too much damage, take a fourth and get all in. Surprised Pikachu face. Not like this. Not like this complete. Yeah, it happens, right? It happens. You deal all this damage, you're on cloud 9, you know, you're Gumiho. You're feeling good about everything, about life. And then bam! Oh, all in. It can be hard to read. It can be hard to keep an eye on. That's why even if you deal some crippling damage, you know, it's not over for your opponents. They do have a chance. There are ways to come back, to bounce back, to take the game. Rex, he saw his win condition. Behind this, once again, Stargate Opener out of Firefly. It's going to be the Stargate Opener into Oracles. Adepts are going to be active, harassing across the map. Threatening a dive. Making their way towards that natural. Lings are in position. They're going to be shaved off, though. Oh, we do clean up the Lings. We get into the mineral line. We do cancel the shade. One drone goes down. A second drone as well. Can we get a third? Up. Oh my god, we force out the spore. Rex will maintain his economy. Adept will escape. That was quite a bit of lost mining time as well. Pretty good amount of damage for 2 adepts. Or for 1 adept. Pretty good overall. You can see Firefly racing back home. A little bit afraid of a counterattack, as he does expand and take his third. Lings have arrived, but the adepts are in position. Really good kind of shifting of the adepts as well. Pulling back the weakened one. Everything looking solid. As the Oracle heads into that natural base once again, he gets one more probe. One more drone. Before being forced out. And ooh, Rex, it's going to be his turn to spice things up. I mean, sure, we did see an all-in last game, but that was more of a reactive all-in. Rex this time is being more assertive, going for a faster Evo chamber. I'm curious. This should be for +1 melee, but we'll see. These +1 melee styles, they have fallen out of favor, especially with the new patch. Ooh, unfortunate for those drones, though. They do get caught off guard. Oh, we want another. we do get one more droid in the main. We get a second as well. 4 workers in total. There it is. Melee is in production. And this Oracles are recalled. We have a +1 and a Twilight Council on the way for Blink, I imagine. Bit of a gateway explosion going up to 6 gateways. Third Oracle arrives getting a 1 extra drone. Oh, they get a second. Oh my god, down to 4 HP. Barely escapes. Ay, ay, ay. We'll make it back home. But yeah, we have a 6 gate setup. We should be getting into our upgrades. Getting saturated on 3 bases. There is +1 on the way, and we should be seeing Blink alongside it. There is that Blink. Now again, it's only 6 gateways, so this should be much to assert yourselves, to be a little bit aggressive, a little bit assertive. Not designed to really commit. The Oracles, they make their way in between the bases once again. All so softened up, so low. And I mentioned that +1 melee upgrade earlier. We are amassing Lings. We should be able to get across the map, and the goal here is to try to gain map control. Maybe even try to get some damage done here at this third. Blair is on the way. No Roach Warren yet. If we do take additional gases, we could go Ling Hydra, which does very nicely against Blink Stalker based compositions. Okay, the Lings are moving out. Just going to be threatening this third. We don't quite get a surround. Meanwhile, Lings, they do get into the natural. The wall. The wall is not a wall. Firefly doing his best hero impression, but we did a move on the Nexus itself. We do get into the middle line with +1 melee. Probes are going down. We have 5 workers in total. Lings forced out of the natural. At the same time, Firefly is forced to counterattack. He is expanding behind this. He's not all in. Again, he only has 6 gateways. He wants to try to get some damage done. Pushing very deep onto creep. This is a bold move out of Firefly. Another Ling counterattack. The wall this time is looking solid. We get 1 queen. Lings, they do threaten that 4th. Lings trying to break through into the natural. The Lings, they get us around, and they trade so well against these Stalkers. Ooh, Firefly bleeding out so much. Another Stalker goes down. Expensive losses for the Protoss. But reinforcements have arrived. We're trying to get on top of these queens, and it looks like we will. Up the transfuse. Not quite. The queens, they barely do escape, but we need more Lings. And the queens are being focused out one after the other. There is no hide behind this. GG gets called. I was going to say there's no hydrogen behind him. My apologies. And Firefly barely snowballs out of control. He breaks the third. He takes a lead. GG. GG, well played. Firefly, able to barely snowball out of control there. The Lings were getting damage done, don't get me wrong. They were catching Stalkers, they were getting to the mineral lines, they were trading well. The problem, though, is unfortunately there was no kind of backbone to the army. We had Lings, but we didn't have a massive amount of Hydras, Roaches, or Queens behind it. So as we were losing Lings, we didn't quite have the production, the lava to actually sustain these losses and to keep things going. Not yet. Rex couldn't quite sustain himself and was broken in the end. Just barely. And with that Firefly, he needs 1 more Unomas to qualify for the closed qualifiers. Meanwhile, Rex needs 1 more to force the ace match. He needs to fight back here and now to force game number 5. Let's go. Let us go. As we already had our first qualified player, but I think there's only 1 so far. I think the rest of the bracket is still... Oh, no, we have our second. Ryung, as to be expected, did qualify over Mana. Mana took a game, though, so impressive stuff. Yeah. I wasn't sure if Mana could kind of make a series out of that, so at least it was able to take a game. No shame in that. But Ryung is the second player to make it through. And here we go. We're getting into potentially the final game of this series. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have the Chinese Protoss player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Firefly. and spawning in the top left-hand corner. We have his opponent. We have a Taiwanese Zerg player down in this series looking to force the ace match. Representing onside, it is Rex. Here we go. And you can try to be a little bit greedier on a map like Golden Aura. You can try to cut some corners. We'll see if Rex opts to try to do so. For now, looking to be a hatch gas pool opener. Firefly getting across the map, going for his probe scouts. Confirming the opener for himself. No fast gases, no fast pool. Oh, everything is on the up and up. Monty Python reference. I haven't. You know what? I haven't seen all of the Monty Python movies. I've seen like the classics, like Holy Grail and Life of Brian or Brian, I think. Not all of them though. Not all of them. One day. One day, man. So now we're settling into this, and yeah, looks like we're kind of easing into Golden Aura. Now, some of the features of Golden Aura as well, other than the gold base, which I don't think the gold is going to come into play, not in this series, on this matchup, but it's possible. You know, bear that in mind, in the back of our minds, that the gold is available. Outside of that, our 3-base setup is very secure, very safe. It's very easy for a player to establish themselves on these 3 bases. The 4th is a little bit more exposed, especially if we expand towards the south, or towards linearly, I should say. We'll see how things do end up there. We have seen a lot of split map scenarios on this map, a lot of late game on Golden Aura. Despite how small it is. But we've seen a lot of aggression so far between these 2 players. Stargate is on the way. Oh, and this time we're mixing it up. We're going for a Void Ray opener. Okay. It's going to be a Void Ray opener to shut down these Overlords, and behind this, we could go into a 3rd base, and +1 on Blink, we can go into a standard follow-up, or we could end up going towards something a little bit different. We could end up heading into a 2nd Stargate and a Fleet Beacon. We could go into Glaive at Epps. The problem here for Rex is that he's about to lose his Overlord, and it's going to be very difficult to scout what comes next. Could be anything, it could be nothing. The Overlord is going to be falling. Does not scout that Oracle. Give me the Oracle on the way, which means we should be working towards a 3rd base. 3rd is being thrown down. I'm really like just getting my eyes, or trying to keep my eyes out for what tech follows this up. Whether it's the Twilight Council, Stargate, even a Robo follow-up. All can lead into different forms of aggression. Twilight Council's on the way. And there is the Forge. So this is looking quite standard, actually. +1 on the horizon. We are only investing into 1 Oracle. We're not getting a 2nd. So we're going to be cutting some corners. Void Ray going to be threatening that 3rd base. Oracle goes straight for the natural. Gets 1 drone. Only a single worker. Up! Up! Oh my god. Does overextend and barely doesn't get a 2nd, but does rotate towards the 3rd, and we find another 2 drones. We get what? We get 2. The 3rd worker will survive. And Firefly gets the hell out of there. Behind this, it's going to be +1 and charge, not blink on the way. So we can try to hit a timing with this. We'll keep an eye on the gateway count. We'll keep an eye on the timing of the Templar Archives. We have seen some Protoss players hit some very crisp timings with charge ults and Archons. Try to snowball out of control. Speaking of a gateway explosion, there it is. 6 gates on the way in addition to the 2 that we already have. That's going to be 8 gates in total. We saw something very similar on hard lead, if you remember, where Firefly did go for an 8-gate explosion on hard lead, but he didn't actually really commit. He threatened the bases, but didn't really try to push in and try to break any 3rd or 4th base. It was just a threaten, and eventually he transitioned out of this. The big tell for me is the lack of Robo. There's no Robo, which means no Warp Prism, no way to reinforce. Sure, we're working towards Charger Archon, but yeah, we'll see how assertive we really intend to be. The Oracle is moving out. Once again, heading towards some of these fringe bases. Void Ray going ham on this hatchery, dragging the queens out of position. Oh my god. Thankfully, we do react in time. Stasis Trap gets baited out by the Spore. Oh no, but we still get drones. 3 workers go down. Void Ray does escape. We're getting even more damage done. Meanwhile, Firefly, he is going for that timing. So I guess this makes sense on Golden Aura. So this is the kind of push that I expect to see with a Warp Prism. But because the rush distance by ground on Golden Aura is so short, we can move out. We have been spotted. Zella does spot this. We have a couple of roaches already done. 5 more roaches on the way. The Archons, they go straight for the mineral line, and we're just trapping the queens. Queen's gonna be falling. There just aren't enough roaches either. The drones, we're going straight for the workers. The target firing up. 11, 12. 14 drones go down. The Archons intentionally going for the workers here. Behind this, we're expanding, and it looks like we may just snowball out of control. The queens are falling left and right. Looks like the roaches will eventually clean this up, but the damage has been done. That is 16 dead workers. Oh my, the Void Ray! We even killed the 4th base. Not like this. Rex being pulled apart. More Zealots just rushing into the natural. A little bit wasteful here. These Zealots should go down, but we are distracting the army. And Firefly behind this is going to be working towards Blink and +2. And Rex, he just wasn't quite ready for this. Didn't have his roaches out in time. Was mere seconds away from amassing a proper roach army. And now Rex is in a very difficult position. He's droning. He's not going all in like we saw previously. He is resaturating his 3rd, which means Rex is going to be trying to play from behind. He has a lot of catching up to do. Saturate the 3rd, rebuild his 4th. Meanwhile, Firefly, he's up a base. He's up a base, he's up in workers. A Protoss player ahead in economy in a PvZ is a terrifying sight. Now, there are ways to come back here for Rex. Oh no! As the queen goes down. I was going to say that we can try to rush into tech. We can try to go into a fast lurker den on lair tech even. We have the infestation pit, so we can maybe even go into infestors. We have seen Dark in times past go into infestors for some cheeky fungals. We're going into swarm hosts. Oh my god. This is out of left field. But I like this just because, again, we need to do something different. We need to do something out of, or to catch the Protoss player off guard. But I'm concerned because here comes the army. And we're hitting a timing with Blink and +2. A very crisp attack here from Firefly. And he's pushing on through. He gets here just before the Swarm Host. GG gets called. And Firefly will take the series 3-1, qualifying for IEM Katowice, the Asia Closed Qualifier. GG. GG, well played. Firefly, he will take it here. Again, Rex was able to force a series out of this, and we had more of a back and forth overall, and I do think there was a lot of potential in Hecate. I think Hecate was actually really close. I do think that Hecate was actually really close, and it was so on a knife's edge. Like, if Rex was able to buy a little bit more time, he would have been able to stabilize and survive and make it through, but alas, did go the way of Firefly in the end. And congratulations. Again, Firefly, he came in as the favorite player. He came in as the favorite player in the end and is going to be making it through. We have some more updates, by the way. Oh my god. We have some catching up to do. From the top. Oh, we have Showtime versus SOS currently mid-series. Currently in a best-of-5 qualifying match over in the Americas server. I imagine scoring down. We have Ryang qualifying. I keep saying Ryang. Ryang qualifying over Mana, 3-1. Does qualify for the closed qualifiers as well. Cyan versus TY just finished. Cyan 3-1 TY, making it into the closed qualifiers. Big win here for Cyan. I expect great things out of, again, Cyan, Firefly, Jeshi, I mentioned him, Jeshi didn't quite make it through as you scroll down a little bit further. Stats versus Nightmare mid-series. Ooh. We could try to get into that, actually. In a PvP, a very juicy one. We'll see if we can maybe squeeze into that. Coffee versus Su, currently ongoing. DRG qualified. Shin qualified over Nice, 3-1. DRG qualified, of course, over Jeshi, 3-0. I glossed over it because we already mentioned that. We have confirmation. Coffee did qualify over Su, 3-1. Impressive stuff here. Qualify. Coffee has qualified for the closed qualifier as well. Again, the Chinese region popping off here tonight. Coffee, Cyan, Firefly. Unfortunately, not Jeshi, but DRG was going to be a terrifying opponent. Was going to be terrifying as we scroll down a little bit further. And we, of course, have Firefly qualifying over Rex. So, just to catch up here. It looks like we only have a couple series that are still ongoing. It's going to be Stats versus Nightmare, which is currently mid-series. I think they're in game number 4. And there is Showtime versus SOS. So two PvPs. Everything else has wrapped up. So I think we're going to stick around to maybe get into Stats versus Nightmare. I can only pick one because Showtime versus SOS is on the America server. And Stats vs. Nightmare is on the Korean server, so I can only kind of like park myself in one server at a time. So we'll be sticking with the Korean server, and we'll try to sneak in. Try to slip on in. Ice Guy just confirming, of course, what series are remaining. I believe there is someone casting at Stats vs. Nightmare. Oh, okay, it's being covered by, looks like it's being covered by Wardy, I believe. Yeah. Being covered by Wardy. I don't think there's a caster covering, Showtime versus SOS, unfortunately. But, yeah, I guess we can stick around and maybe catch the tail end of Stats vs. Nightmare. At least I hope so. That's going to be our goal here. That is going to be the game plan. We can take a moment to breathe. To be fair, Holy Grail will be 90% of the references in the wild. Yeah. I mean, that's like the classic one, you know? A classico. Actually, it makes you feel like the Korean server should be separate from the Asia one. True. The Asia players, they're popping off tonight. They're popping off over the Koreans. But regardless, I guess we're gonna be going on a short break. We still have to wait a little bit here to see if there's another game. So hopefully there is still another game available for us and we can cast maybe a little bit longer. Otherwise, we will be wrapping up our broadcast for the night. To quickly go over some of the other results as well, just for some context. Here we go. As we scroll down here on Wikipedia, this is the open qualifier, and the players are qualifying for the closed qualifier, which is tomorrow. And these are the players that are currently waiting in that qualifier. We have a classic creator and hero from the side of the Protoss. We have Bunny, Björn, Cure, and Gumiho waiting from the side of the Terran, and we have Dark from the Zerg as well. If you're curious, I believe Solar and Maru are directly invited just because of their performances this year. I think Solar and Maru, they're basically already a shoo-in. They're already in IM Katowice just because of their, again, GSL performances, and it's going to be on these other players to try to make it through as well. It's going to be 8 players. Basically, 16 go in, and 8 players make it to IM. And that's tomorrow. we are going to be covering that. I believe myself and Yaku going to be casting alongside Yaku of the Zaku. So yeah, a big qualifier tomorrow. All the big names will be duking it out alongside the players that have qualified, of course. And yeah, it's going to be a nail biter. It's going to be basically the last chance for these players to make it in. I don't think there's an open bracket in IM Katowice. I could be mistaken. We can maybe get some confirmation in the chat. But yeah, it's going to be brutal. Once we wrap up with Asia, I believe Europe is over the weekend, and then Americas is at the end of the weekend. So one for each region. And we're going to be casting it all here on the CranKy Ducklings. Casting it all. Casting it all. Until then, though, we are going to be going on a short break, just because we still have to wait a little bit longer for Nightmare versus Stats to become available, and then you might be able to jump in. See you soon. Take this moment to hydrate Hydras, stretch your roaches, massage your marines, drain your disruptors, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I apologize for the extended delays, but we were waiting for Showtime versus SOS to finish up their game, and they have done so. We are tied up 2-2. We are diving into the ace match between these two amazing players to find out who is the final player to qualify for the Asia Closed Qualifier. We are here to find out. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Hardlead, we have the German Protoss player representing Berlin International Gaming. Big esports. It is Showtime. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player from South Korea. It is SOS. And I need to fix that up. One moment. Un momento, por favor, as we do quickly sort out the UI, and bam! Beautiful. There we go. We do have our PvP before us. Probe's going to be moving out across the map. We do have our gate our 2 gate openers set up here from both Showtime and from SOS, as we have taken a position here on the high ground. We did see the last game was being covered by Rotterdam. I believe Rotterdam was the only caster in that previous game, but everyone's now filing on in. You know, it's Roddy, ourselves, Steadfast as well has jumped into the series to find out who's the final player. In that last game, it was more macro oriented, did lead into the mid game. We saw 4 base versus 4 base, and I believe Showtime was able to fight back. SOS was leading the series 2-1, and Showtime has forced the ace match. He has a little bit more momentum going his way. But where will this lead us? Where will this go? I'm a little bit surprised that we have a tied up series. SOS has returned to the game at the start of the year after a long hiatus. And yeah, has been climbing the ranks a little bit, but for the most part, SOS is overshadowed by all the other Korean Protosses. I'm talking about Nightmare, I'm talking about even Stats, Creator, Classic, Hero as well. SOS has been, again, kind of falling a little bit behind them. So for him to go to the ace match against Showtime is really impressive. Really impressive stuff here from SOS to be able to take him to the ace match and be comparable in skill to Showtime, who's the 2nd best Protoss in Europe. So really impressive here. $sign. For now, we have our starting units as well. It's going to be a Stalker Sentry opener out of SOS, likewise Stalker Sentry out of Showtime. Everything looking as it should. With these openers, they're very safe, very macro-oriented. With these sentries, we have access to hallucinations. We're going to be scouting each other, getting a read on what is going on, getting a read on what the follow-up tech is going to be, and whether or not there's an all-in. So very safe play by both players. I expect this out of Showtime. A little bit more surprised to see this out of SOS, especially if you're maybe a newer fan of StarCraft, maybe you've never watched or heard of SOS before, but he is typically a very... he's a little bit notorious for having an aggressive reputation. He'd be very aggressive, very cheesy, very all-in years past, back when he was in his prime. So yeah, just a very safe follow-up here. You know, with age comes wisdom, and maybe SOS has mellowed out a little bit, especially during his hiatus, during his time off. It is possible. For those that are curious, SOS has not done his military service. I think a lot of people, they think that he did because he was gone for a while. He was gone for a couple of years. But no, he hasn't done his military. I believe he said that he was just focusing on some IRL commitments. I don't know if he was, like, you know, working or focusing on studies or something else. Yeah, SOS has yet to go to the military, from my understanding. Showtime is going for a Twilight Council opener, going to be going into Blink. Meanwhile, SOS is going for a Stargate instead, looking for some economic damage. Oracle gets across the map. Hallucination does confirm this. The power of the Hallucination Scouts, because this Showtime is fully aware of what's going on, is getting in position. Stalkers are fanning out, and they are waiting in the main. Even looking to intercept. As we're going to try to focus down... Oh, we're going to try to focus down... that Phoenix. A little bit concerned, my game getting a little bit shaky here. Oh god. Don't like out of BattleNet. As the Oracle gets into the middle line, is going to be able to focus down 3 of those probes. Not too bad. Ooh, before going down, though, a bit of an overextension out of SOS, being a little bit too greedy. Despite the hallucination scout, he went for it anyway and did lose that Oracle in the end. Not quite worth it. 3 workers is okay, but not ideal. Behind this, SOS going to be expanding. Again, because he opted not to go for the Stargate, he went for a Robo. This should be leading into Immortal production. There we go, Immortals are on the way. Basically, Showtime, he has map control, he has the more mobile army, has a lot of potential with Mass Blink Stalker, and SOS is going to have to take a defensive position, building up his Immortal count. The Immortals, they will make up for his lack of Stalkers, but SOS won't really have any kind of map presence. He's stuck at home. So again, a more macro-oriented or defensive play here from SOS, and Showtime can be the aggressor as he is moving out. I have been having to use a VPN to cast on Korea. Here we're on Singapore and we're stuttering a little bit, so I may have to use a VPN for Singapore as well. I can't use it now, I'm already in game, but hopefully we can stay connected to Battle.net. Fingers crossed. As the force fields are thrown down, we will be able to focus on at least one of those sentries. Get a Stalker as well. Pretty good pickups here, but alas, SOS loses the sentry of his own. A brutal loss. Shield batteries are on the way. We're getting saturated on 3 bases. At the same time, Adepts, they do shade in, but not going to be enough to deal too much damage. Immortal does clean them up. So far, SOS, he is holding on, bleeding out a couple of units here and there. Looking at the unit source tab, SOS in general has been able to trade a little bit more efficiently because of his Immortals. Despite the blinks, SOS, he's been picking up units. Oracle's going to be moving out. Oh my god. I'm really worried I'm going to time out, actually. Like, you can see the frame, the stuttering in game. Ah, no. You can survive one game. Battle.net, please. As the Oracle gets into the main base, 3 workers going to be going down. The armies are going to be clashing here in the center of the map. We do bypass the Immortals, though. We go straight for the 3rd. Showtime, the worker counts are even. Again, Showtime trying to take advantage of his more maneuverable army. He's going to be able to get past. Feels casting on Singapore, man. Stalkers, they end up trying to rotate around, but once again, SOS keeps up. We do have a 4th on the way. I'm a little bit surprised we are trying to catch up in upgrades. I'm surprised that SOS, he's just completely ignoring Blink. He's going straight for Charge. So Charge on Archon Immortal is going to be SOS's composition of choice. Meanwhile, behind this, Showtime is taking in a similar direction, getting into his own Charge as well as Archons, working towards a 4th base. Both players, they have the same kind of end goal. They're just getting there in different directions, or they're just getting there in different ways. In general, I think I want to favor SOS in a head-to-head fight. Oh, big stasis trap. Uh-oh. Showtime, he does get caught out. SOS getting in position to punish these Stalkers. And Showtime, how will he escape? How will he try to get out of here? As he will, of course, have that blink available. But you can see SOS trying to just preemptively set that up. SOS getting his army ready. Sorry, Showtime getting his army ready. With recall, oh my god! That is not what I expected, and everything's gonna go down. And now here we go, we can go for a big counterattack. I was waiting for the blink, right? The blink away, maybe the chargers come in to reinforce, but Showtime lost everything. And just like that, SOS takes a massive supply lead. He's actually up in Stalkers, up in Archon, sorry, up in Immortals, up in Zealots. We have our 1-1 upgrades. +2 is not on the way for SOS. We're committing. We are pushing out. Here we go. Force fields have been thrown down. Where's the juggling? Where's the war prison? Immortal's taking some hits. But SOS, he does have the overwhelming army. He's going to be waiting at that overcharge. Overcharge has been popped. We're forced to engage outside of range. A couple of Zealots are peeled off to head towards that 3rd base, but no, we're all collapsing here on the 4th base. It's just too much. GG gets called. And SOS will take the series 3-2, eliminating Showtime and qualifying for the IEM 2024 Katowice Asia Server Close Qualifier. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, SOS. Of course, going to be repping the Asia region, going to be repping Korea, and taking down Showtime. Really impressive. I mentioned before that SOS has been overshadowed by the other Koreans, by the other Korean Protoss players, like your Creators, Nightmares, Classic, Hero, even Stats, I would say. I would say that even Stats is currently in better form than SOS, so yeah, really impressive. Especially considering that this was pretty straight up. Like, there was nothing fancy here. There was nothing quirky, no cheese, no weird kind of tech path either. It was just really solid defensive play out of SOS. He was able to punish Showtime by shutting down or by catching all those stalkers. And that was the beginning of things snowballing out of control in favor of SOS, was all those stalkers getting caught out, all of them going down for free, and immediately, bam, that triggered a counterattack. That triggered SOS to go across the map to end the game then and there, to snowball out of control, and GG. GG, well played. Very well done. Very well done. And with that, for those that are curious, we have now all of our qualified players. And we can have a look at that bracket as we switch our scenes over. And we quickly refresh our Wikipedia page here. As we scroll down, we have our qualified players. We have the invited players first. It's going to be Classic, Creator, and Hero that have been invited from the side of the Protoss. Meanwhile, just underneath them, we have the qualified Protoss players. Cyan, Firefly, Stats, and SOS. SOS, of course, being the fourth qualified Protoss here for the closed qualifiers. Followed by the Terrans, we have Bunny, Byeon, Kyor, Gumiho, Coffee, and Ryung, finishing up the Terrans. And for the Zerg, we have Dark, DRG, and Shin. Again, the Korean server doesn't really have too many Zerg players. It's just Dark, DRG, and Shin. The only one missing here is Solar, but Solar gets a direct invite because he is the GSL champion. So Solar gets invited, Maru gets invited. So if you're wondering, where's Maru, where's Solar, where's Oliveira? Those are the three players that, because Oliveira is our reigning world champion, he gets a direct seed. Solar's GSL champion, Maru GSL champion. So the three of them have been invited into IM Katowice. Meanwhile, we have 8 players that are going to be qualifying here from the Asia region. And tomorrow, we're going to be finding out who. That's what we're going to be casting tomorrow. The admins, they're going to be taking this time to actually sort out the brackets. They're going to be seeding the players. They're going to be randomizing, rolling dice, and, you know, praying to their gods. And and they're basically going to be setting up the bracket here. And again, tomorrow we will find out who makes it through. It's 16 players coming in, 16 players, and 8 qualify. 50-50. I mean, not too bad. Like, that's a pretty good chunk of players that'll make it through. Obviously, the seeded players are the favored players here. Like, dude, that's where Dark is, Bunny, Byeon, Kyor, give me like all the big names. I'm always keeping my eye on the qualified players, you know, these underdogs. Let's see if they can make it through. We'll see if any one of them is able to make a deep run. My eyes are on Shin. Shin is always a wild card. He's always kind of a big threat to players. Firefly is the dark horse. Or the dark camel. My eyes are on Firefly to see how far he can go. I really hope he does make it through. I really hope he does qualify. And DRG is my other kind of secret pick here. My big reason for wanting DRG to make it through, I don't know if you noticed something. Everyone is on a team except for DRG. DRG, he's the only big name that is not on a team currently, and I do believe that he's a really strong player. He's really good, and he needs a really good performance here in IM Katowice to be noticed by some of these other international teams and to be considered to be picked up. So this is actually a really important event for DRG, just so we can kind of get eyes on him and can kind of like get even some of the allure of some of these other big teams, so DRG can be supported as a player. So that's kind of like his kind of big moment here. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty big day tomorrow. I should be casting alongside Yaku. Yaku of the Zaku is going to be casting alongside me. So yeah, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be a lot of fun. So be sure you're a part of that. Tomorrow, again, in less than 24 hours. After we wrap up the Korean qualifiers, then it's going to be the Europe server qualifiers and the America server qualifiers. Bearing in mind that all these qualifiers are server-based, so just like how today we saw Showtime, right? We just casted Showtime in this qualifier. I think Mana was here earlier. I think it was just Showtime and Mana, really, as European. Oh, and some other, like, we saw Aztecs, Asha. We saw some European representation, Koka. Ashbringer even. But because they're server-based qualifiers, this means that for any big Korean names, or just names in general here that don't make it through, we could see them try again in the European server qualifiers and the Americas server qualifiers as well. So there is going to be another chance for them. So yeah, we could even see some of these guys pop up in those qualifiers as well. Possible. It is possible. Again, you want to try to take as many chances as you can to make it to IEM Katowice. All the chances, all the opportunities. Here we go. And for that, from here, wait, I guess we're done. We are done for the night. A bit of a shorter broadcast. How many hours? Only 2.5 hours. That's barely anything. So a bit of a shorter broadcast here tonight. But thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. Again, congratulations to all the players that did make it into the closed qualifiers. And again, if any of your favorite players didn't make it in, there's another chance. Again, there's plenty of server qualifiers on the horizon. I say plenty. 2 more. Europe and Americas. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. We're going to be heading off for the night. So we're going to be raiding another StarCraft streamer. Not too sure who, but we'll find someone to send our love to. So give them a chance. Give them an opportunity. If you want some more CranKy Duckling action, our next broadcast is going to be tomorrow. And it should be the closed qualifiers for Asia. We should be having our conclusion tomorrow. Yes, in I say less than 24 hours. I believe it's in 22 hours time. 22 hours. So mark your calendars, set your alarms, because it's going to be a big day of StarCraft tomorrow. On top of that, after the IAM qualifiers, we're going to be staying up a little bit longer because we have the House Open Cup, which is a Polish-only bi-weekly tournament. So we have some Polish StarCraft for you tomorrow as well. So if you're a fan of Spirit, Alazer, Geralt, Cristiano, Papi, and many others, we got you covered tomorrow evening as well. That's yeah, it's gonna be in like 28 hours time or something. Oh, so sorry, 25 hours time even. Wait, sorry, 29. Math on stream. 29 hours. Otherwise, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. We'll see you guys next time. Until then, take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your week, and enjoy DreamHack Atlanta. That's next week, of course. So make sure if you're local to the region, get your tickets and be a part of the StarCraft celebration for North America, that is DreamHack Atlanta. Otherwise, hasta luego. Bye.